Happy New Year to you. Welcome along to 2022. Don't quite know where 2021 went, but there we go. Now, in my last video, which was a Q&A video, one of the most prominent questions was, is it too late to start DJing in 2022? And a couple of other people have actually asked me this question since. So I thought, do you know what? This question warrants its own video. So the short answer as to not waste your time is no. It's never too late to start DJing, not last year, not this year. You could argue that the market is really saturated. Here in the United Kingdom, every other person seems to be a DJ. And to be fair, DJing is more accessible now than it ever has been because of digital music and the fact that you don't need vinyl turntables, which used to be really expensive. You can get a cheap controller just to get started, download a few songs, a couple of small speakers, and off you go. Now, if you are being held back by the thought of how saturated the market is, you're thinking, God, there's so many other DJs out there. I'm never going to be able to make an impression because there's so many other people ahead of me. There's an analogy I'd like to use here, and that is my town centre 10 years ago, right? It took about 15 to 20 minutes to drive to the one supermarket within the area. There was only one, everybody used to go to it, and that's where they got their grocery shopping. Fast forward 10 years to today, and within that same 15 to 20 minute drive, I can now access not 2, not 3, but 8 different supermarkets. And they all seem busy. The market is saturated. However, there is definitely a demand for it. People need grocery shopping. People will visit not the one supermarket, but all 8 of them. Now, unlike supermarkets, which are all selling the same products, the great thing about DJing is that there is only one of you. DJing is as individual a thing as it comes, okay? Even if you like the same music that I like, if I was to pick 5 house music tracks and mix them together and I said, right, you go and pick 5 house tracks because that's the style that you like and mix them together, I'm pretty much certain that you would pick 5 completely different tracks to me because of how much music is available. And that makes that mix completely individual to you versus my mix, which is completely individual to me. Now, what I would say with anything in life is that you just need to start, and you never know what might happen unless you try. For example, you might get yourself some DJ equipment. In fact, even if you don't want to make that initial investment because you don't know really if you're going to enjoy it, you know, download a phone app and mix on your phone, for example, okay? And you might start thinking, do you know what, I really don't like this. It's not really for me. I can't really get my head around it. I'm not really patient enough to really give it my all. And that's absolutely fine. It may just not be for you. You can still really enjoy music without being a DJ. But the difference is at least you started, at least you gave it a go, and you can turn around and go, do you know what, I gave it a shot and it really wasn't for me. Rather than being sat there just wondering maybe if you should or if you shouldn't. On the complete flip side of that, you might start DJing, you might get yourself a nice little collection of tunes, you might really enjoy it, and within a couple of months' time, you could be playing to your mates at a house party. Take that experience away with you, grow your music collection, and then within 6 months you might be working in a nightclub as a warm-up DJ. You never know unless you try. And for every person that's entering the market as a DJ, there are also people coming out of the market. They're retiring, they're thinking, do you know what, I've done so many years in the clubs, parties, weddings, events, all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's not for them anymore. You know, this global pandemic that we do find ourselves in at the moment has changed the mindsets of lots of DJs. Some people have now moved away from DJing, they've got day jobs and things like that, and they don't want to go back to DJing. So actually that has opened up a lot of DJ vacancies in a lot of venues. So what I would say to you is, if you're thinking about it, just do it. Download some tracks, download an app where you can mix some music, or buy yourself a cheap controller, or perhaps open that Christmas present that is the controller that you got and you weren't sure about starting. Put some music together, see what you think, and maybe in 12 months, and hopefully you're absolutely loving it and you're getting booked for your first gigs. All the very best. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next video.